We have an exciting presentation for you today on a leadership topic that sits front and center in every corner of our globe. I have said this at several of our past Leadership Matters webinars, and whenever I have an opportunity to speak about this topic, I mention that humanity is at a very challenging juncture today, and I honestly believe that only great leadership can save our planet, and I see that happening as an issue more and more each day. The issues we face are dramatic and complex, and among them is the challenge of treating everyone equally and with dignity and respect, something that we're still far from arriving at, a goal that we're still working on. Far too many groups of people are being marginalized today. This afternoon, we will address one of these groups, as you will hear in a few minutes. And to introduce our guest speaker is my good friend and colleague in the Graduate Leadership Program, Dr. Sriram Rajagopalan, who has served on numerous leadership positions at the corporate level, and he has distinguished himself as one of the finest professors at the College of Professional Studies and Northeastern University as a whole. Dr. Rajagopalan is also the author of Organized Common Sense: Why Do Project Management Skills Apply to Everyone? And I am proud to announce that his newest book, Leadership Unleashed: Game-Changing Insights, will be published and available for purchase in late February or early March. So with that, I'm looking forward to reading the book. And in the meantime, I will ask Dr. Rajagopalan to please introduce our guest speaker. Sriram?
Thank you, Dr. Lestine. Really appreciate your introduction. It is my honor and privilege to continue doing this Leadership Matter, where we are bringing a lot of exciting topics by very influential speakers. And one such influential speaker at this point is Kavita Premanand. She is the founder and president of Munis Healthcare Management Solutions. She is a visionary leader with over 20 plus years of experience in the life sciences and healthcare industries. Her unparalleled expertise in strategic operations and project management has really driven transformational growth and innovation in many different industries, solidifying her as one of the influential figures in advancing global healthcare. And she is here to talk about the impactful leadership and the role of women taking the charge. So without further ado, I would like to give the floor to you, Kavita. So take it away.
Thank you, Sriram. Thank you, Les, and also to the full team, Nancy, Teresa, everyone. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Good morning, afternoon, everyone, actually. Thank you for being here today. My name is Kavita Premanand, as Sriram mentioned, and I'm the founder and president of Munis Healthcare Management Solutions. Today, I'll be discussing the impactful leadership of women and how they are leading the charge in various sectors. Let's dive in. And again, I'm just giving, excuse my voice, and also coughs in middle further on in the presentation. I'm just coming out of flu and COVID infections. Sorry about that. So as we celebrate the legacies of visionaries like Martin Luther King Jr. and Mahatma Gandhi, who championed equality, justice, and nonviolence, we are reminded of the transformative power of leadership. Their courage and conviction continue to inspire us, especially as we honor Martin Luther King Day and approach India's Republic Day. This quote by Martin Luther King emphasizes the importance of shaping and guiding collective vision and action rather than merely seeking agreement. It's a powerful reminder for women leaders to trust their instincts and lead with conviction. This quote by Mahatma Gandhi emphasizes the immense moral strength and leadership capabilities of women, challenging traditional stereotypes and advocating for gender equality. Next, let's open with a question. Let's ask ourselves a question. Is it important to talk about women in leadership positions? Absolutely, yes. Women have moved way beyond providing their capabilities. They are now shaping the future, breaking barriers, and inspiring the next generation of leaders. Let me introduce To give you a bit of a background about myself, I have over 25 years of experience in the life sciences and healthcare industries. My expertise lies in strategic operations and project management, which has driven transformational growth and innovation. I founded Munis Healthcare Management Solutions as a premier consultation company specializing in providing high quality project and program management, strategic planning, advisory consulting, operational excellence, and process improvement services. Our ideas of expertise span around R&D quality, clinical, scientific, medical, commercial operations, and regulatory affairs. Now, let's talk about the rise of women leaders. Excuse me. Let's delve into a rise of women leaders and the significant impact they are making across various sectors. Let me point out to some key insights, such as an increasing trend for women on senior management roles globally. It is now at 29%. This increase in representation is not just a number. It signifies a shift towards more inclusive and diverse leadership. Companies with the higher gender diversity on executive teams are 25% more likely outperform on profitability. So this matrix highlights the tangible benefits of having diverse perspectives in leadership positions. This also reiterates that we have more room to grow. Yes? When women are in leadership roles, they bring unique insights and approaches that drive innovation and success. Increased representation of women in leadership also has a broader economic impact. It leads to better decision making, more effective problem solving, and a more inclusive work environment. Women leaders are breaking barriers and setting new standards in influential sectors such as healthcare, technology, finance, and more. They are not only contributing to the success of their organizations, but empowering future generations of women to aspire to leadership roles. This global movement towards gender diversity in leadership is a positive step forward, but there are still challenges to overcome. Let's continue to support and advocate for women leaders, ensuring that their contributions are recognized and valued. Now let's move on to the next slide to discuss some of the aspiring figures who paved the way. Here are some pioneers who have inspired me deeply. My mother, Josephina Nucifora, Amelia Bartholomew, Mother Teresa, and Michelle Obama. Each of these women has contributed significantly to their fields and has been a source of inspiration. Let me start with my mother, my first influencer and first teacher. My mother has been a constant source of strength and wisdom in my life. Her unwavering support and belief in me have shaped who I am today. She taught me the values of resilience, compassion, and determination. Whenever I face challenges, I think of her and draw strength from her example. Josephina Nucifera and Amelia Bartholomew are my professors at UIC, have been instrumental in my academic and professional journey. Their guidance and mentorship have opened doors for me and countless others. Mother Teresa's selfless service and dedication to helping others remind me of importance of empathy and giving back to the community. Michelle Obama, with her grace and intelligence, has shown me the power of using one's platform for positive change. These women have not only inspired me, but have also changed my world by showing me the limitless possibilities that lie ahead. Their influences have driven me to strive for excellence and to make a meaningful impact in my field. So now let's discuss why in leadership we need women and why they are essential. Okay. Have you ever wondered why diverse leadership teams are more successful? Women bring a variety of viewpoints and experiences, fostering creativity and innovative solutions. They excel in collaborative and inclusive decision making, which can lead to more effective and sustainable outcomes. Here are some key points. Diverse perspective. Yes, women bring unique viewpoints that spark creativity and innovation. Women excel in collaborative, inclusive decisions, leading to better outcomes. Empathy and emotional intelligence. Yes, high EQ enhances team dynamics and boosts productivity. Resilience and adaptability. Of course, women thrive in dynamic business landscapes, overcoming challenges with ease. Proven performance. Absolutely, gender diverse leadership team drive better financial performance and strategic success. These qualities make women indispensable in leadership roles, driving their teams and organizations towards greater success. In the next slide, let's uncover some key challenges and ways to overcome them. Okay. Excuse me. Despite significant progress, women still encounter several key challenges in workplace. Awareness, okay, in first place, awareness and realization lay the groundwork for any meaningful change. Once we are aware of the challenges and acknowledge their impact, we can better identify and tap into the resources available to us. Think about it this way. It's like turning on the light in a dark room. Once you can see what's around you, you are in a much better position to navigate and make the most of what you have. These challenges include work-life balance. Women often juggle high expectations for family and caregiving responsibilities alongside their professional roles. This balancing act can be particularly challenging in today's fast-paced world, where the demands on both personal and professional fronts are constantly increasing. Gender bias and stereotypes. Persistent gender biases and stereotypes can undermine women's authority and credibility. These biases manifest through microaggregations of overt discrimination, making it difficult for women to gain the recognition and respect they deserve. Pay inequality. Gender pay gaps remain prevalent in various industries, with the women typically earning less than men in similar roles. So this disparity impacts their motivation and resources for innovation and professional growth. So here's the 2024 report by McKinsey and Company. Women in the workplace, there are still underrepresentation of women in leadership roles. And also, women on average earn less than men for a comparable work. And seems like there is limited access to network as well. Professional networks are vital for career advancement and innovation, but however, women often have less access to these networks, limiting their opportunities for collaboration, knowledge sharing, and career progression. In the current global landscape, these challenges are slowly being addressed, but progress is often incremental. The fast-paced nature of our world sometimes makes it difficult to see immediate changes, but every small step forward is significant, I would say. Organizations are definitely increasingly recognizing the importance of creating inclusive and supportive environments for women. Initiatives such as mentorship programs, diversity training, policy, promoting work-life balance are helping to break down these barriers a little bit. And this is essential to continue advocating for gender equality, supporting women in their leadership journeys. And again, by addressing these challenges heads on, we can create a more equitable, thriving workplace for everyone. All right, let's move on to the next slide to discuss how we can break stereotypes and pave the way for future generations. Excuse me. Gender stereotypes often restrict women's opportunities. Despite this, many women have excelled in male-dominated industries, challenging stereotypes and paving the way for others. Their achievements highlight the importance of diversity and inclusion. Men can sometimes significantly support women in rising to leadership roles by being strong allies and advocates. I can say this personally, I have benefited from having male mentors who shared key experiences, helping me overcome challenges and advance in my career. Additionally, I have had male managers and bosses in the past who promoted flexible work-life balance and provided valuable opportunities for my development. So now we can talk about what drives me. I believe in speaking up, showing strength, and communicating effectively. Earlier in my career, I hesitated to share my ideas in meetings, feeling intimidated by more experienced colleagues around me. However, I gradually realized the importance of voicing my thoughts. There is one pivotal moment was during a critical project meeting. We were facing a significant challenge and the team was stuck. Despite my apprehension, I decided to speak up and suggested an alternate approach. To my surprise, my idea was well received and it eventually led to the project success. That experience taught me the value of my contributions and the importance of overcoming my hesitations. Now, I advocate for myself and others, encouraging a culture of open communication. My sources to break the stereotype is just that: speak up, show your strength, communicate, feel confident, show up. That's it, right? Let's discuss how we can shatter this ceiling next. Shattering this glass ceiling is a journey filled with the challenges, resilience, and triumphs. Education, resilience, and family support are really, really crucial elements in overcoming these challenges and achieving a professional success. For me, education empowers women with the knowledge and skills needed to excel in their fields. I'm immensely grateful to my mother, a single parent, for her unwavering support, both financially and emotionally. Her sacrifices and dedication to my education have been crucial in shaping my future. Resilience helps them navigate obstacles and bounce back stronger from setbacks. And the next thing, family support. That provides the emotional and practical backing that is often essential for women to pursue their ambitions. I'm profoundly thankful to my husband for his unwavering support. As an introvert myself, becoming more social has been a significant challenge early. But his encouragement and belief in me have been transformative. He has given me the confidence to seize every opportunity, consistently show up, and rediscover my inner strengths. So, this journey has led to remarkable personal growth and success. Okay, building a better you includes work-life balance initiatives, transparency, and accountability. Regularly, okay, again, not just setting up one time, regularly assessing the progress and making continuous improvement to that. Okay, next we can move on to the work-life balance. Here are some key strategies. Taking breaks to recharge, which will boost creativity and productivity, reduces stress levels, and promotes happiness. Scheduled downtime, which will provide essential time for personal life and relaxation. Self-care, again, self-care prioritization will ensure physical, mental, and emotional well-being. Throughout my career, I have been juggling multiple high visibility projects and responsibilities. While I was determined to prove myself, I also realized the importance of taking personal time breaks and vacations to care for my well-being and my family's. Those breaks allowed me to recharge, gain new perspectives, and return to work with renewed energy and creativity. These practices not only improve our professional performance, but also enrich our personal lives, right? By embracing work-life balance, we can create a more fulfilling and a sustainable career path. Now, let's move on to the next slide. We will see how critical is the self-care for well-being. Self-care and well-being is non-negotiable, I would say. Taking care of oneself is not selfish, believe me, but necessary for maintaining physical, mental, emotional well-being. And I realized this much, much later in my 40s, that setting aside personal time and prioritizing physical fitness is crucial. This practice has not only helped me maintain energy for my family, personal life, and career, but also enabled me to stay socially active. The long-term paybacks have been incredible, leading to a more balanced and fulfilling life. Improving skills, raising self-awareness, and boosting work motivation are positive impacts of self-care. Let's see how we can tackle the setbacks and failures. Setbacks and failures are inevitable part of any journey, I'd say, especially in leadership. But it's how we respond to these challenges that truly defines our path to success. Let me share a personal story that has profoundly shaped my perspective on setbacks. I had the opportunity to showcase my expertise by handling a large critical program with a significant business priority and a compliance risk. From the outset, I was responsible for setting the framework, managing a complex cross-business team across global sites, and organizing metrics cross-functional teams. I drove the team by establishing strategic goals, providing the necessary operating resource infrastructure, and governing progress while navigating risks and issues with appropriate leadership support for 3 long years. However, as we were about to reach the finish line, the recognition, success, and appreciation were redirected to an individual who had minimal engagement and joined near the program's completion. Although this was unfair, I managed the situation very, very carefully, containing my emotions, facing setback and failure. Despite this, I found an even more critical responsibility in a different organization and moved on. So I felt a deep sense of disappointment and questioned my abilities as a leader. Yes, of course, it was a challenging time, but it also became a turning point in my career. I realized that failure is not the end, but a stepping stone to greater achievements. Embracing failure allowed me to learn valuable lessons and grow both personally and professionally. I began to see setbacks as opportunities for growth and innovation. Cultivating a growth mindset, seeking feedback, and building a support network are very, very essential strategies for overcoming these challenges. Embracing failure as a stepping stone to success is crucial. It teaches us humility, perseverance, and importance of continuous learning. Okay, let's support each other in our journeys and celebrate the resilience that defines us as a leader. Here are few historic data as an example to show how every setback is an opportunity to come back, bounce back, stronger and wiser. Women entrepreneurs often bounce back stronger from setbacks, demonstrating remarkable resilience and adaptability. There has been a steady increase in women's representation in politics globally. So this has a significant economic impact and improves women's representation in the labor market. Let's explore some strategies for success in how we can overcome these obstacles. To get past the obstacles, we believe we have now, it is crucial that we exercise a few strategies. Trust me, not everyone is comfortable doing this, mainly building networks. This one was simply not in my interest, But breaking my own barriers, I see it more helpful and open up several possibilities. Definitely, mentorship is something I always look for in every stage of my career. Developing resilience and adaptability helps in navigating challenges. Advocating for oneself and others is crucial for empowerment. Let's look at some empowering initiatives. When we think about the strategies, the one thing that comes in our mind, where do I start? Where do I start? So here are a few things that I learned over the years of breaking my own barrier. Number one, identify the forum where women leaders gather and share their ideas and knowledge. The other one I found more beneficial is the Women Leaders Workshop, which helps women enhance their skills and prepare for leadership roles. Also, as mentioned in my previous slides, the mentorship programs offer a significant guidance and support from seasoned professionals. Now we'll get to the vision part of it. Having a vision will drive innovation, help to overcome challenges, and will empower communities. In overall, the self-care is awareness is crucial for maintaining overall well-being. How I pave my vision, I could say I'm proud to be the first in my family to attend college, to become a translational scientist, a visionary leader, and a self-made entrepreneur. These achievements reflect the importance of the vision and the dedication it took to make it a reality. All right. As we come to the end of this presentation, let's reflect on the incredible journey of women in entrepreneurship today. Women-owned businesses now account for 35% of all businesses worldwide. Treatment to the resilience, creativity, the determination of women entrepreneurs. Since 2007, the number of women-owned businesses has grown by 58%, showcasing the unstoppable momentum for women breaking barriers and shattering glass ceilings. These statistics are not just numbers. They represent the countless stories of women who have dared to dream, taken risks, and built successful enterprises from the ground up. Women entrepreneurs are driving innovation, creating jobs, and contributing significantly to the global economy. They are not only transforming industries, but also inspiring future generations to pursue their entrepreneurial aspirations. As we move forward, let's continue to support, empower women in their leadership journeys. Let us advocate for gender equality, create inclusive environments, and celebrate the success of women in all fields. Together, we can build a future where women leaders thrive and make a lasting impact on the world. Remember one thing, as a women leader, our journey is defined by our relentless pursuit of growth, self-advocacy, and the unwavering commitment to empower one another. By staying meritorious, continuously learning, and building a unique brand value, we not only elevate ourselves, but also inspire those around us. We must not only solely depend on organizations, systems. Instead, we should fight for ourselves and support each other. Together, let's be the change we wish to see and champion a future where every woman rises to their fullest potential. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to share this presentation with you today. I'm very, very grateful for your time and attention, and I look forward to continuing this important conversation. If you have any questions, or would like to discuss further, please feel free to reach out. And I'm always open to share my perspectives and success or any feedbacks. Thank you once again, everyone. Let's continue to champion the cause of women in leadership and entrepreneurship. Thank you.
Thank you, Kavita. This was really a wonderful presentation. I'm sorry you are, coming out of this tough situation at this point with the health challenges. But it was very great that you were able to continue giving back to the society by doing this presentation on behalf of the entire leadership team here. So I really appreciate that. There are a few comments and questions that are repeatedly coming up at this point. But before I start discussing those things, I would like to, get information from Les here. And, once we have that, we will continue asking some follow-up questions here as well. Les, do you have any thoughts before we go into the Q&A?
Absolutely. Thank you. I know I would like to go to the Q&A, but I would love to ask a question. And while I'm doing that, maybe encourage everybody else to just ask any questions that you might have, any ideas or thoughts, or just if you just have a thought or you want to share an idea about, because this is an important subject that I think we need to do more in recognizing the need for discussion and open discussion on this issue. But one of the things that it kind of is interesting to me is that when I look at the statistics, and I taught years ago at an all-women's college in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I would teach education leadership classes and general education classes, and I would provide these statistics to young women who were late teens, early 20s, and ready to be teachers and administrators and that sort of thing. And I pointed out that about 51% of the U.S. population is made up of women. They hold 57% of all undergraduate degrees and about 60% of all master's degrees. And even though they hold about 52% of all management level positions, there are only 21% of women in the very senior C-suite positions, which is essentially the CEOs or the CFOs or the CIOs of the companies. And so, of course, Kavita, you pointed out the 29% of the other positions, but it's fascinating to me to think that the majority of women in the United States are the most educated, and yet we don't. Okay, so now having established that as a foundation, here's the question. It seems to me that very often people like you and people like others in our program, and especially women, bring up these topics, and we have these meetings and discussions, but these are established women. Women who are either in senior management positions or they're educators. And I wonder, do you think that maybe we're kind of taking this and not dealing with it accordingly, in that by the time we are addressing this issue, I see two problems. Number one, I never see men at any of the major discussions or open discussions and meetings when we talk about women in leadership positions. I rarely see men in the audience. And so it's women talking to women. And I wonder, it's the men that we really need to convince and demonstrate to them what the value here is. And second, I wonder, Kavita, are we bringing this issue to the forefront at an early enough age? So in other words, at the elementary, the middle school, the high school level, where young girls are basically brought up to think that they have a place and they have an important place in society, but do they really understand that they are more than just equal? They are capable of doing exactly the same thing as the boys in their class and all. Are we we still stereotyped at that level, and maybe that's the place to begin this journey of
Absolutely.
just a thought.
Absolutely agree. Yes, Les. I think you brought a very good point. I covered in a couple of other slides, but I can share my perspective, right? You can go beyond the age of the women who are getting educated, getting their degrees, not just the graduate degree, master's degree, training, certifications. It could be the foundation for women, but in comparison to women in 80s, 90s versus the kids right now in 2000s or even later on, they are completely aware, self-aware. They know what's happening around, how they have to equip themselves, be prepared, face the hurdles, how they can show up, how they can be confident, how they can be equally competitive. They are well trained and well in advance. It's just the struggle for the women who are in early stages where we are in a perspective of not speaking up. But what I was sharing is myself, like having so much of barriers myself. It's so hard to break out and come and be competitive in the real world. But right now, in comparison to my age, to the kids who are right now, if you say it is a millennial, it's totally fine. But they are really prepared and they are at least in the forefront to showcase their skills and be competitive within the men for the equal opportunities. That's why we see this number 29%. Of course, why we see this increase in the percentage is just because of the awareness and the confidence and how we are training and equipping ourselves to be a person to be in the forefront.
Thank you.
Certainly.
Sure.
Kavita, I have a couple of questions before I give the floor to Nancy and Teresa, who also teach in our program. One is a very simple question, because as you were sharing some information, there were things that we were chatting about, women leadership workshops and programs and stuff like that you were talking about. Is it possible for you to share some of those things? I believe Prem was responding back to us, telling Harvard Women of Color Leadership Program and Brookings Women Leadership Program. But what are the other programs that you probably have in mind?
There is massive amount of information and support system, Shriram. And again, this is more customizable and tailorable, like the interest, what area I'm interested in, who I want to engage with, what level of engagement I'm in my life or career. So it depends across, and there's a huge number of information available. I can share, I can make a list, whichever is useful for me in my life and career. I can share with the team, of course.
That would be wonderful, Kavita, because then I can make them as a list of potential alternative resources for our community. So that would be great if you're able to share that. We can do that off after the webinar is over. There is one other question I wanted to ask, and this is something that you brought up in your program, in your discussions as well. Yes, men are that still the stereotyping is happening, and still the affirmation is happening. The glass ceiling is not broken. I understand all those things, but what advice do you have for the men? So that they can be more allies and supporters for these inclusive ideas and support women. Any thoughts, any recommendations that you have?
I would say, again, this is my perspective, right? Starting from building a very strong network and relationship at the workplace, outside of the workplace, socially, how you network, connect, and make this real good relationship. This will encourage women to definitely be a mentor and also be ally or advocate or sponsor. You can name it. It will promote men to think differently just because of the confidence, how you create a confidence in oneself. It might change the mindset. It might give you more opportunities for men to collaborate with you, provide you opportunities. There's a lot more to add. Just that we can't change overnight on a contribution from a man's side, but all the work has to be done by the individual
Good.
to make this change.
That's a very good point. That's a good the thought process. When you talk about mentoring, coaching, and stuff like that, I just want to put a shameless plug here. Our leadership program also has a coaching concentration, and we talk about some of these elements as well. That being said, Teresa also has some of this coaching related work, and so I'd like to pass the baton to Teresa and have her ask some compelling questions here to you.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Well,
Appreciate it.
thank you. Thank you very much, Sriram, and thank you for plugging the coaching program. And we have at least one person on the call, Abby, who is in that concentration. And actually, Abby has posted a question for Kavita. And Abby, I'm wondering if you would like to just ask the question yourself or have me read it.
Yeah, I'd love to ask the question. That'd be great. Thank you.
You're
And thank you
welcome.
so much, Kavita. That was a great presentation. And I guess for me in the leadership coaching concentration, we focus a lot on hard skills versus soft skills. And my question for you was, what soft skills have been particularly impactful to your success? Because I think those are less talked about, but equally as important.
Yeah, of course. On top of getting the educations, training, all the branding, what you do for yourself, there is a lot more on the soft skill side, which was a very complex and a challenging for me to break it and come out. As I mentioned in the earlier slide, that introvert myself, staying confident, not comparing with anyone, like overcoming whatever the syndrome, the imposter syndrome, whatever the fancy word you call it, is just coming out of it, staying confident, and also having this presence. Being in a meeting, there should be a leadership presence. It took very long time for me to learn about that. So I think these soft skills definitely will build, and how you get that is definitely getting the network, the right support, right mentorship program. I took all the way down the mentors. I have very good, great mentors, though those are not just biased, giving you from the support perspective, but giving, reflecting. Meaning is the feedback of your challenges, your positives, your development. They have to be 360-degree going around telling a person that you have so much to develop. And I should be in a position to acknowledge and accept in the first place. That is the first thing. I need to recognize and also accept the feedback. So those are kind of the soft skills that will clean up, clear anyone in the success path.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you, Abhi. I'm sorry, I scrolled past that particular question. My apologies.
No
So
worries.
Teresa, do you still have a question?
Well, I have a question, unless Nancy has a question. Nancy, did you have anything you wanted to go first? Because I know we're short on
I
time.
just have a comment, and I
Mhm.
wanted to allow for more questions. But I was really glad to hear in the presentation the statement that awareness is the basis for social change. And in the leadership, developing your leadership capability course, there is a module on gender in leadership. And we do a case study of the glass ceiling situation. And I wanted to comment that the male students are always expressing that they're surprised that this still happens.
Mm.
And they're very empathetic. And they don't want to see it happen. And the female students have a lot of examples. And they speak up and they say, well, this is what I went through, or I saw a colleague go through this. So I think what I take from that for this millennial generation that you were mentioning, Kavita, that building awareness is something an individual can do every day. So it is within our power to act on building awareness. And I think this is super important, that it's not just this big systemic issue, but we can build awareness every single day.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And so that can be very empowering. And the other thing I wanted to mention is, and I'm not shamelessly plugging anything, but I do teach a class called The Language of Leadership or Leadership Communication. We've renamed it The Language of Leadership. And in that class, the focus is on how do we develop the message of what it is we want to say at that table, so that when we can recognize the opportunities and what comes out of our mouth is what we mean and what we value. And so that is the focus of that course. And I think it really ties into this presentation, that we have to speak up, that we have to know what it is we want to say.
Yep.
And then we can keep building. So that's what I wanted to say. And I was so delighted to hear that emphasis in your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you
Nancy.
so much, Nancy.
Sriram, do we have time for one more question? We actually have two posted, so I'm not sure.
Yeah,
What do
I
you
was
think?
just,
Should we go for
yeah.
it?
Yeah, let's
Okay.
go and ask those two questions, Teresa. I want to
Okay.
make sure that those are getting answered.
Okay. And actually, I'm going to do the same thing. If the people who have posted would like to read it quickly, we'll have time for two. Allie, do you want to read your question or would you like me to?
I'm happy to read my question. Thank you.
Great.
So I was wondering, as a young woman who has frequently been in different leadership positions, but is usually the youngest in the room, how do you recommend we begin to really establish ourselves with credibility while being young female leaders?
I think it applies to the same strategy or whatever the initiatives you take as a young leader. You feel like you're less experienced in comparison to whoever is in the room. It's just continuously showing your assertive communication, that you showcase your skill set. You put that on the table for someone to feel it, see it, and recognize it. That's the only thing. You have to be very stronger. And also, coming out of the comfort zone is not just easy for every single person. It regardless of the age, experience, and the skill set, somebody who have to come out of the comfort zone and showcase things, those are the inner soft skills somebody has to get trained on. I guess it's the same strategy that I would advise for any women, regardless of the age. But it is going to be how you showcase yourself, how you continuously learn and put yourself in front of the male leaders or the senior leaders or anybody in the room.
Thank you so much. That's very helpful. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, and we have one more question. And Laura, would you like to read your question?
Yes, I can read it. Hi. So my question, I really liked how you brought up work-life balance. It's something I'm entering the HR world, and it's something that I'm really passionate towards advocating. But branching off of Allie's question, I get anxious sometimes being a young female entering the professional world, and I want to push and advocate for something that I find really important, but it is nerve-wracking, like not feeling like I have all the credibility to do so. So I'm curious how you would recommend going about that.
I think I agree, totally agree where you're coming from, but having a clear vision, having a plan. So how you said that in first place, right? As we mentioned, every single person, experienced, non-experienced, senior leadership, everybody needs a mentor to guide through. You set your goal, you revise, revisit, and make that as your goal or vision. So that's something you can start with, and then you can build on top of that, right? Whatever I mentioned to Ali, how you can build your skills, continuously learn, and how you can be assertive, how you can communicate. So those are in combination, I think, will help the young leaders who are emerging and coming out.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, that was a great question, by the way. Yeah. Hey, Kavitha, let me ask you one more question before we go. This is an issue that I've watched over the years, and I wonder about your experiences. It seems to me that when women get to a leadership position, they're sometimes self-conscious about recommending a woman for a position, a promotion, say, for instance, because they think that they're going to come across as, well, I'm advocating for women. And so maybe they're a little more hesitant. Is in your experience, do you see that? And should women be a little bit more direct, or maybe a little more forthcoming in saying, hey, if I see a woman who deserves a promotion, I am going to physically, emotionally advocate for her. And I don't care what the men think in the leadership suite. This person is, in fact, the one that I want. And maybe even look out for more women to lead in positions. What do you think, based on your experiences?
I think that's a good point. And again, you cannot change your mind in the sense, if you are recommending a person to be owning that position, you know the value and you know why you're recommending the person. It's not that a documentation, a verification, validation that you submit. Okay, for XYZ, I'm validating this person. This is a qualified person. It's not about providing a justification. It's a clear communication, open communication, that you recommend a person who is much deserving of the position. And this should encourage the people around you, like around you, whoever is seeing it. In the sense, it shouldn't go in a negative direction. It should definitely go in a positive direction where others are aspired and they are willing to support and promote more women leadership roles in the organization or a company. I would think in my perspective is this.
Very good. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Sure.
Now, like all things had to come to an end, so I think we should keep continuing, but we are coming to the mark. So Les, if you could do the honors of bringing the closing remarks, that'll be great.
Oh, absolutely. Kavitha, I want to thank you very much. Thank you. This was an absolutely great discussion. I think it's an extremely timely discussion, unbelievably timely. And we see this, I don't want to get into any issues going on today, but I see this happening far too much in our world, where the people who are qualified and capable are not the ones that are selected for the right leadership positions because they don't happen to fit the right mold as viewed by the ones in leadership. So I think we need to push this. I also think we need to push this from an early age. I think that if we did this from the beginning at the elementary, middle, high school levels, I think we'd establish a pattern so that people would understand that, hey, the best person gets that position, as opposed to a white male, for instance. So with that, again, very timely. And I highly encourage, especially the women in the audience here today, that, when the opportunity is there, advocate. Coaching, mentoring is certainly very important, but at some point, it becomes, being someone who is morally sound and you stand up for what is right. And I think very often we need to break that ceiling is still there as far as I'm concerned, and it needs to be broken, shattered completely. So this is a great start to a discussion like that, and I think hopefully we'll continue with these kinds of discussions. And I thank you for taking the time to join us today. And our next webinar will be sometime, I think, in April or May. We haven't decided just yet, but we will send the information out on that, and another probably dynamic leadership issue. And I want to thank all those who attended for coming and joining us today. So thank you, everybody, for coming. And Kavitha, again, thank you so much for taking the time and for doing what you're doing and for advocating for such a great cause, the right cause. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great week.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.